All right, hey! Welcome back to the TalkBots episode 4, Give a Dog a Bone. Last week we were doing some crazy stuff with Houston Fitzgerald, and this week we're going to be doing a little bit different. So this is my co-host, Lubot.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Louie, also known as Lubot. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back.
And today we have Beth. She is a dog trainer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. So, this week we're talking about dogs because, well, I mean, I've only had one dog in my life and I've never actually been able to take care of a dog properly. So, obviously, I needed someone to come and show me how to not be an idiot. So, with that said, what is it that you do?
Well, you can train. You start off with like what I do specifically, or like what you as like a
As like a
as steps?
I guess as you, like, what do you do as like
What do
a
I do?
daily dog
Okay.
routine?
So for my dogs, my old dog, she gets kenneled at night, because she just does. It's a preference for her. Works for us.
Okay.
In the morning, very first thing, she gets let out to go potty with the other dog, Jethro, who hangs out in my brother's room. They go outside, they go to the bathroom, then they come in, they get breakfast, and then typically would go to work, and my husband, lets them out off and on throughout the day. They basically come and go out inside as they please. As for training, Jethro has his CGC. Lucy, my older dog, she's a fully worked ratting dog. She's semi-retired now. She's getting up there in age because, let's be honest, she's never going to let me fully retire.
So you said a CGC. What is a CGC? Like, what is that?
Canine Citizen.
Okay.
Canine what?
Canine Good Citizen Award. Basically, have the dog basically passes an obedience test and a temperament test, and it's basically they're a certified good dog. Is what it comes to.
Aww.
The goodest. All right, Louis, you have any questions?
I do. Now, you train dogs, correct?
Mhm.
Has there ever been a dog that you came across that you just can't train?
That's a good one.
There are some really difficult cases. There have been, I think the worst one was a case of two dogs that were raised together. They were litter mates, and they came in for a board with us, and they were extremely reactive to any men that came in. Like, they straight just lunged at any of the men that came into the kennel, so it fell on us girls to work with them. It was the weirdest thing the entire time. And people who I was working with, they're have even more experience than I do, and they couldn't even win this dog over, and we ended up having to call theirs to come back early because they were a literal liability. Even more so from past a training point, they'd be reactive to the point where even the kids that we had weren't holding them.
Do you think
Wow.
that has something to do with like a toxic environment from where they came from, or?
It could be a number of things. It could range from genetics to basic temperament to any health issues that they might have. It could be how they were raised, what they were exposed to puppies. It could also be the fact that even though they weren't blood related, they were purchased together as young puppies and grew up together, and it can form what is known as litter syndrome, which is essentially a series of total behaviors which show up in either, say, extreme aggression or an extreme bonding to their sibling to the point where they become destructive to the injury. They won't bond with their humans. They'll only bond with their one dog counterpart, and I think that probably had something to do with their reactivity.
Interesting.
As far as the reactivity towards just the men, it could be a number of things. It could be that they weren't exposed to men.
I understand. I don't
Gotcha.
like men either, you know.
I do. I do. This question kind of falls along the lines of that. Is imprinting true? Is that like a real thing? Can a yeah, like a kind of, yeah, like I kind of had the idea from there, but yeah, like where, let's say a dog, like kind of like, let's say my dog, like he listens to me. If I say a command or anything like that, he listens to me. If someone else says it, he kind of listens, but he listens to when I say it. And he likes me a lot and stuff like that. But when my boyfriend Eddie comes home, he loves Eddie. Like, he'll like go up and cuddle on him and jump on his lap and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, that's my boy. Why is he jumping on you? So is that kind of, have you ever came across something like that?
It's not necessarily like an in thing. It's more of they found a stronger connection with that human and it could be for whatever reason. It could be so much as their specific smell that comes from their body. You know,
Gotcha.
It could be something as this human sneaks me extra table scraps or something along those lines.
Ooh.
He
it
does
could be-
give him his yogurt in the
You're
morning.
gonna have to keep an eye on Eddie.
Yeah, right?
Dogs are a very reward motivated creature. So where they get something that they want positive, it's a good thing, they want more of it. So if a human is how they get that specific good item, that reward that they want, they're going to want to be around that and more because it will give them a higher chance of getting them that they want or that reward that they want.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So you're very intelligent on this, as far as I can see. You're dumping knowledge out faster than people dump those pebbles off an I-75. Those goddamn trucks that hit my fucking windshield. It's just gonna crack the whole thing. Like, I'm gonna have to call someone to come fix that shit. They got little signs on the back of the trucks that say, "No, you can't get us in trouble for that. We're not liable for your windshields, motherfucker. Just make it not fall out of your truck." Like, you ever heard of a lid, Patrick? The lid? Well,
The lid.
A lid would be nice. A lid would be nice.
because of your knowledge on dogs, what certifications do you have?
I have studied canine behavior sciences for a little over 10 years. I've trained under some of the best behaviorists in our specific country. I've trained under Chris Tucci, Chris Sider, Christopher Villano, and Judy Villano, as well as Kimberly Herlin. And I learned so much from them, the hands-on, the agility training, the behaviors that you've learned from them. Just being around them in general taught me a lot about that specific sport and agility. As for ratting, that was kind of a dive in, heels first, straight into the deep end. I found a dog that had a drive, and I had taken classes in order to learn to develop her drive. When I developed her drive, and she became an amazing working dog, like crazy. As for Jethro CGC, I took a series of classes for that, as well as to learn how to do it myself. It was fascinating, the whole situation. It turned into a giant internship with them, and it was a really good experience. You know, it was very positive.
Well, it's time for my fuck up of the night, guys. I figured out what I did wrong today.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
God. What'd you do?
It's not as bad as previous episodes, okay? It's not as bad. The starting suit, the jazz music was still playing.
So we
Oh.
just been bumping to jazz music this whole
The whole
time.
time we were having this discussion, we were bumping jazz music. I apologize. At least it wasn't like previous episodes where I just forgot to record the audio. So we're a little bit better off today, guys. We're on a roll. We're you know.
All right. At least they could hear.
Yeah, at least they could hear us.
Gotcha. Yeah, I still see your starting soon thing up.
Yeah, that's gonna be there until you see the Discord stream is that Google Chrome thing. I have some things planned to for both of you. You guys don't know what's going to happen, but that I removed that when in the middle of the stream when we go to do that segment. So I do want to ask, what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to dog owning?
Dog owning? Okay. One of the first things I can tell you is that socializing isn't letting your dog run up to everyone and thing.
Ooh.
Everyone thinks that socializing is allowing your dog to openly engage with everybody, to be petted by everybody, to engage with every single dog, and that is not what it is. Socialization
Nope.
is teaching that the world isn't all that exciting, and that the most exciting thing that they should be excited about and paying to is you.
Mm-hmm.
This keeps them from
Holy shit.
pulling a leash, keeps them from barking at strange people, strange dogs, because they don't care about them.
That's
They've already
interesting.
exposed that. It's not scary.
They're not going to take care of your dog. You are going to take care of your dog. It's like when I have kids, and when I teach my kids, obviously don't talk to strangers. I mean, everyone has to eventually when you get older, but you learn that as you go as a kid. But dogs are obviously similar, at least in a social sense, because there's a lot of behavioral things that, like you said, that come with it. Like you're not going to be barking at every other dog that or every other person that you see. So that's very interesting. What are some other like do's and don'ts that I wanted to get like a few of them out.
Okay, the one of the best things that you can do for them is to desensitize them to grooming as early as you can. So as soon as you get your puppy, start work on cutting their nails. You hear a lot about people can't do their nails. So their nails, you should be introducing nails to puppies as soon as you can. It will make trying to clip them when they're bigger and older a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times, believe it or not, the feeding amount that they give you on the bags of kibble is wrong. It's offering too much. You don't want to be able to see a tuck, and you want to be able to see 2 ribs on your basic dog. Anything that the dog is bordering on starting to be overweight. Overweight can cause a lot of issues, including early onset arthritis, hip issues, elbow issues, as well as shoulder issues, and of course the general, heart, circulatory, all that stuff.
Fucking check engine light goes off on your dog. That's what I heard right
exactly.
there.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Everything just starts flashing.
Needs an oil change. Stat.
In addition to that, another thing is if you're somebody who's wanting to pet another person's dog, say do not pet my dog or do not approach or have anything like that on their dog, don't pet the dog. Don't bug them about petting their dog.
That is very true.
If they say, please don't touch my dog or please don't pet my dog, walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't touch their dog.
See, that kind of reminds me of something, because I had to like bring this up. I know, Louie, I know you had a question about emotional support animals, but a while ago I did work in hospitality. I was a night auditor at a hotel, and we would have people who would come in and they would want a room with their dogs, and their dogs would be like service animals or emotional support animals, and we would never accept emotional support animals because half the time, honestly, they were never actually like a service dog, only because it was so blatantly obvious that the dog was running around to a bunch of people barking and just being obnoxious and not actually helping the person that is they're saying or claiming that is supposed to be helping. So I just, in a way, it's like obviously there will be like a clear indication of like what is a service animal, and like you said that they will have like a sign or they'll tell you not to touch their dog. So it's so blatantly obvious to follow that rule, in my like opinion. How do people fuck that up? Like, how do you go pet a dog that is so obviously supposed to not be pet?
I will correct on one thing. Service dogs don't always have like a thing indicating that they're a service dog.
Okay.
It's required, at least in the U.S. Nothing like that is required. I completely forgot what we were going with this.
We were talking about people petting.
Right. I don't know. I had taken I used to take my dog Lucy to a dog friendly like little Kmart thing that was on the street from my house, for example.
Right.
And this was for a socialization exercise, and she's a pretty good dog as long as you give her some space out in public. She does pretty good. And I had a kid behind me in the store ask if he could pet her. He was about 15, old enough to know better. And can I pet your dog? And I'm like, no, I'd rather you didn't. I'd really appreciate it. And he was like, okay, being in line. And then I turn because I hear her turn around and bark at someone. I turn and it's that kid. He had decided to go ahead and touch her, and she had told him. The fact that people just seem entitled just to pet a dog because it's out in public is really irresponsible, and it's asking to get bit.
That is very true. That is very true. My question for you is it goes with emotional support dogs and service dogs. There's certain trainings that needs to be done to these types of animals, correct?
Yes. They can be owner trained, or trained company. Either one is fine, but the dog has to be task trained. A lot of people are confused. I think that there's no questions that you can ask. There are two questions that you can ask. One of them is this dog task trained to do tasks, and is this dog trained to help with like a disability? And so, and if that dog does not fit in any of those two brackets, it's not a service dog. If the dog is barking at everybody, it's not a service dog. If the dog is pulling on a leash and not paying attention to its owner, its handler, like it's supposed to be doing, it's not a service dog. If a dog is sitting in a cart, for example, it can't exactly do its job in most cases, so it probably wouldn't service dog. In addition to that, there's been an uptick of people who go onto these websites, which is the most interesting thing. They'll go into websites and pay money for a little plastic card that says that the dog is a service dog, and it's not legitimate.
Oh,
There's
very true.
nothing. It's an
Stolen
absolute
valor.
scam. It's not real. And you can look it up if you want. Actually, one of the others I know of went and did this, but she registered a jar of Nutella with a harness on it as a
What?
service dog to give you an idea as to how illegitimate these
It
places
is.
are.
That's nuts.
Like if you can register a jar of Nutella as a service dog, then there's nothing legitimate about it.
No. Is there a favorite dog breed that you have?
My heart breed would have to be a Caterpillar Birdhound. It's it's a more uncommon breed. It used to be fairly rare outside of the southern U.S. But they're cool.
Hang on, your audio just got really robotic.
Whoa, yeah.
Try it now. Are you good?
Say something?
Yeah, you
Oh.
cut out. It's not working.
It's not working now, yeah.
You want to try to like turn it off and turn it back on? Oh no. Hang on. Her audio didn't just. She's actually talking. It works. She's just talking on a frequency that only dogs can hear. We actually made a joke about this happening because she was talking about how her headset might die in the middle of it. It didn't die, did it?
I think it may have died because it's not blinking on her end here, so it's.
Well, she's seems like she can still hear us. So the headset has to have power, right?
Nod your head if you can hear us.
Wait, what's happening? What did you get out of that?
Her headset's not working. I see a blue light like flashing right here.
Is it like do you plug it in? Sometimes you just like leave Discord and then you join Discord again. It'll like work. Like, it's weird like that.
Oh no. Do you have her on like social or something like that? Can we message her?
Yeah, I can
somehow.
Let's hit her with the. Why did you grab a suitcase?
Huh? Oh, I'm getting notebook.
She's professional. Leave her alone. Oh no.
Try leaving Discord and rejoining the call. Alright, can I just like move her?
Can you move her and then move her back in?
Yeah. I did. Well, I guess I could try that. Hang on. Balls were having some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
You're terrible.
Oh no.
I'm gonna hit her with
nothing. I don't got anything.
I'm gonna hit her with a Facebook call.
Hey,
Hello?
hey, listen, it's buffering. It's like ba, ba.
Okay. So here, I try.
What?
If you turn it off and turn it back on, have you tried that?
The whole computer? Because that'll take forever.
The headset.
Oh, the headset? Hold on.
Yes. That works for most technology.
A hard reset.
Hello?
Another thing you could try is leave the Discord call and rejoin. Wait,
Why do I
Oh.
turn this off?
I thought I heard something. That looks like you could buy that for $5 at Five Below. I'm sorry, the headset.
Shut up.
What? I worked there. I was a manager.
I don't know how to turn this off.
Like, can you hear her clear through my mic?
I can hear her clear off of your mic. Yeah. We might just have to do.
Things.
You could download the Discord app on your phone.
I have it.
You what? You do?
It's working. It's working.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Cool, it works. Yay, thank you, Austin.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, dude.
You're the best. King.
You just saved us. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we
got
can hear you.
Yay!
Hold
We
on, I
did it.
can't hear you.
We conquered technology. Wait,
And
can you
we're-
hear us?
I'll stop touching you. I'll stop touching you.
Oh.
Oh, he's got arms for days.
Man arm.
Look at that arm.
Yeah.
Did it die?
I think it's died, yeah.
Oh, okay, so how do I do the Discord?
You can still do Discord. You still should be able to hear you.
Yeah, we hear you now. Shit, I hung up the fucking call. I don't know if she can hear us.
Can you still hear?
Hello?
Hey,
Yeah, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Hello? Can you hear us? We can hear you.
I think I know what she has to do. She's gotta go into
It's still
the
flashing.
video settings.
We can hear you.
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Hey, we can hear you.
Wait, I'm sorry.
We can hear you.
You can. I can't hear you guys. You can
Because the
hear.
TV was off.
Oh, because the TV was on. Oh.
Okay, so can you hear us?
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, wait a
Yeah, I
second.
can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Hang up the phone. You don't need this. I don't know if you want.
Well, okay. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
it. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
I guess my headset died, so.
Gotcha.
I,
Okay.
I'm so glad I was actually able to make that joke though, because I made a joke about that earlier.
He did make that joke.
I didn't know I was predicting the future.
Right?
Talking on a frequency only dogs can hear.
Yes, he pulled that one off.
They were in there? You found them? Yeah. Alright. So, getting back on track. Not a dog track. It's not a dog race.
Whoa, dog joke.
No Michael Vick jokes, guys. Not today.
Damn.
He's a bad person, okay? We know that. So,
Yes.
we talked about certifications. We talked about what you do and a lot of different dog details. We also talked about
So-
do's and don'ts and emotional support animals.
So what my last question was, what was her favorite dog breed, and it cut out as soon as she was explaining it.
Yes.
The cat of the leopard dog. They usually only be found in the southern.
Wait. She is super choppy, like super lagging. Oh my god, what's happening? Why is technology dumb? Alright, hey, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, it like cut out.
Okay. The Catahoula leopard dog. It's a dog that was found mostly in the south for the longest time. On the tricolors, tan points, they're mainly used as hunting dogs, for hogs, for raccoons. They're really high drive dogs. I once had one a while ago, and she was a wonderful, wonderful dog. I miss her greatly. But I think this time around, my next dog's probably going to be a poodle.
Be a poodle.
Poodle.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
My
whole-
only dog breed I ever
the
had
whole-
was a Siberian Husky.
Was a Siberian
you just
Husky.
went,
Yeah, and they
went
like to
straight
run.
for the screaming, right?
Yeah,
Run away.
those dogs, that Huskies are very vocal breeds, man. They will talk your ear off, literally. I
I'm like so worried.
my
about
favorite
that.
my favorite dog breed would have to be, like, I have a red-nosed pit bull. He's kind of mixed with something else, but the shelter that I got him from couldn't really determine what he was actually mixed with.
Right.
But I love him to death, you know, and pits, they get a bad rep, but it's all on the owner and how they're trained and how they're dealt with, and you know, and how they're brought up. So you can't really blame the dog breed, you can blame the owner. But my question is, that's what I was getting to. My next dog, I honestly really, I mean, I'm gonna rescue a dog, but if I can find this breed, which is an Australian Shepherd, yeah, I would love to have one of those. And my question for you is, I hear that those dogs are really smart. Really smart. And although I don't have a farm or anything like that, it can't be a cattle dog, but it has more than enough potential to be one. Um, and they're very hardworking, very smart, very intelligent. You know, they're all around really good dogs, and I would love to at least experience a pup like that. Oh.
Well, if you were interested in getting a Australian Shepherd, you know, I always say adopt or shop responsibly. So adopt from a reputable shelter or rescue, or buy from a reputable breeder. Both places are fine. There's a whole philosophy of adopt, don't shop, of, you know, only get from rescues and from shelters. But here's the thing: if we only did that, if we only bought from rescues and shelters, the only dogs that we would have would be and I hate to sound like this because no matter how I word it, it's going to sound bad, but the lesser examples of each breed that we already love. If we love our dogs, as we should, then we should want our dogs most healthy for as long as possible, to be temperamentally as amazing as possible and as close to correct to what they're supposed to be as possible. So I'm a huge supporter of reputable breeders, of health testing, of temperament testing, of showing working ability, and working dogs and stuff like that. But unfortunately, as things stand, there's probably always going to be need for rescue and shelter. Fortunately,
Yeah.
That's pretty
it's
wholesome.
mostly backyard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a red-nosed pit. He's actually sleeping on the couch right now. But I had rescued him from Sarasota County Sheriff's Office animal shelter, and he was actually returned twice to the shelter before I had got there. And the reason being, he was ooh, now it doesn't even look like you have a headset on. It's all camouflage.
Wow.
Can you hear us better now?
I need to turn the volume up on it.
Oh my god, that's
Um,
so much better. Holy
Wow,
shit.
your quality just went to the roof.
Yeah, they said they could hear me better. It's just the volume on my end isn't very high. I can still hear them, but it's not very high.
Something that
My
you can
husband's
also
helping me on the side over here.
gotcha. Something that you can also do is you can click on one of our names
You can
and right click it, and you can adjust the volume on each person.
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh,
starts
so
off
he
half
says if we
volume. Yeah,
he
it
says
starts
if you
off
click
with
on
50%.
their names, you can adjust the volume for each of them.
Yep, right click.
Yep,
Like
individually.
that's coming into me, like how I hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, just right click on the
So like
person.
click on like Bluebot.
Here, I'll do it too. I have you all the way up, but I can like.
Hey, say something real quick.
Hello.
Say something, I'm giving up
That's a little
on
bit
you.
better. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work.
I don't know why
Yeah, we do that
I
like
went
every
straight to
time.
singing.
We always do that. Like, awesome. Okay. So we were just talking
So
about dog breeds, and you're getting you want to get an Australian Shepherd.
yeah, I was talking about my dog Jack.
Oh,
So
you said you red-nosed pit bull.
yes, so he was returned
I love
twice to the shelter. He was, I believe, 6 months old. He was still a puppy. He was 6 months old when I had first saw him. So between when he was born to 6 months, he was returned twice to the animal shelter, and he was deemed too hyper to be adopted, and they were gonna put him down. Multiple people, multiple different families came to go see him and stuff like that, but he was just too hype for them. As soon as I got there, I saw he was literally jumping off the walls as soon as he saw me, and I was just so excited to see him as well and to play with him. And his trainer actually came up to me and was like, "Hey, honestly, he's scheduled to be put down this week. If you want, we can have you play with him." And I'm like,
Oh
"Of
my
course,
God.
I want to play with him." And I went to the room. I played with him. I fell in love with him. That's my boy, and I couldn't do it anymore. I told the lady, I told the trainer, and I told the person that I was dealing with the adoption, and I told them, I was like, listen, the trainer just said that he's scheduled to be put down. That's gonna be a no. I will take him home. And they're like, well, we need permission from your landlord, because at the time I was renting with my parents were renting, and I lived with my parents at the time. So I contacted my landlord, and he said no way in hell would he have a red-nosed pit bull in his house. And
Fuck you, landlord.
I was very upset, because I'm not gonna let this pup die.
Your house is overpriced anyway, and it was probably built
and
like shit, you piece of shit.
It sure was. It sure was. But anyways, I found a way around it and stuff like that, and my landlord actually caved in and said fine. So I ended up adopting him right there on the spot. I didn't wait or anything like that. Actually, I did wait. They told me to come back the next day, that they wouldn't put him down. They'll have me come back the next day, and I can finish the
Bro,
paperwork.
How pissed would
And
you have been if you came back the next day and they already did it?
I would have been.
Oh man.
I would have been pissed. I would have been so hurt, because I instantly clicked with Jack. As soon as I saw him, I clicked with him, and it seemed like he clicked with me too. I don't know for sure until Jack, what do you think? But he didn't even move. Yeah, I went back, and the trainer was almost in tears. She was like, "Thank you for adopting him. Please just take the time to run with him, or just get his energy out, and he'll be a perfect dog for you." And sure enough, that's exactly what I did. At first, for the first, I think, year, I took him out on runs. I let him run around. I took him out. I didn't like going to, and I still don't like going to dog parks, because I know how Jack is. I know how Jack is.
I wouldn't go to a
and-
dog park anyway. They call dog parks, was it disease-infested fight clubs for a reason?
Yes.
These infested
So
fight clubs. Holy
I
shit.
just I don't. Because I know how my dog is, and I know how his temperament is, and I know how he acts around other dogs. He's perfectly fine with other dogs, and he's pretty chill. But I don't know other people's dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say a German Shepherd, or even let's say a little Chihuahua. Is at the
Right.
dog park. I'm at the dog park, and it's just our two dogs. And let's say this Chihuahua starts fucking biting the ankles on Jack, and he just goes to like kind of nip at it, and it's since it's a little small Chihuahua, it gets hurt. Then now I have a whole investigation on Jack, and then potentially have to fight for his life.
And it's not even his fault. He did
And-
just
and-
give a correction for a dog that was being rude.
Exactly, but nobody would get mad at the Chihuahua.
Oh, I'm going on an emotional
They'll
roller
get
coaster
mad.
here.
That's another
They'll
thing
get
that
mad.
gets me. People think that like aggravating their small dogs is cute and that it's funny, and then all they end up doing is making them aggressive and reactive and nasty little things. Everyone's like, "Oh, Chihuahuas are so bad." Actually, Chihuahuas are not supposed to be that bad. They probably wouldn't be that bad if their owners wouldn't torment them.
Dude,
Yes,
my aunt
yes.
had this little white dog. Well, I say white, and that sounded racist, but it's just like, white-haired dog. So it was like this little white dog, and we used to call it the little white rat because it was so, like, ferociously just like a rodent in like my perspective. And I was
rodent?
young, and I never told her that to her face, and my dad used to say it too, and my cousin. So we just had this inside joke where we would roast her dog, and Aunt Karen, if you ever watch this, I'm sorry, I love you, but your dog fucking sucked. Well,
Your dog's a fucking rat.
I thought I was gonna go. I thought I was gonna go a whole episode actually without referencing Peaches for the To Be Better podcast, but as you guys know, Peaches is my ex-wife, and she, when we were married, used to have a dog, and I took that dog one time to a dog park, and as you said, disease infested fucking fight, bruh, the amount of fighting that was going on there, it was actually like WWE but dogs. Like, I would have imagined them picking up chairs and smashing them over each other's heads. It was
I kid you not.
aggressive.
I kid you not. As soon as I pulled up with Jack, he didn't even get out of the car. As soon as I pulled up with Jack, I saw dogs fighting at the park, and I was like, "Yep," pulled right out and fucking went home. But I spent time with him outside. I let him run around. I let him play. I brought his toys outside. We're just chilling outside. I still gave him that playtime outside. I just didn't want to put him in that environment.
Right.
And in that situation to where he could potentially get into a fight, get hurt, or even, catch a case or a body.
Do you have a dog to bone?
Exactly.
It's DMX.
Another prime example, I'll leave names out. My coworker, he has kind of like a mutt, and he brought his dog with him to the. I'll leave the store's name out as well. But he brought him to a pet store. Not like to buy animals, but like toys, food and all that. And he brought his dog to the pet shop, and they were walking around. The dog picked out a chew toy and everything like that. And the owner of the pet shop had their dog in a kennel, and the dog got out of the kennel and was barking and was very aggressive, and then charged at my coworker's dog and ended up biting him like above the eye and on the snout, and it left puncture wounds and stuff like that, and his dog had to go to the vet and all this, had to get medication, all that shit. And the store owner was like, I'm not at fault here.
What?
And my coworker's like, you're at fault, dude. Your dog attacked mine. And the guy finally, after my coworker called the cops and the cops were there, that's when the store owner was like, okay, I'll pay for the vet visit and the vet costs and stuff like that.
I guarantee you 100% of that time, Louis was yelling at his coworker to sue the guy. because Louis is the sue person. Like he is always going for a good old lawsuit against someone that deserves it. This motherfucker here.
You give me the right opportunity, and I have lawyers in every type of law that there is. I got a lawyer, and yeah, Brandon's not lying. I did tell my coworker that he needs to sue that
I knew
that
it.
store
I knew that was like the
because
first thing out of your mouth, bro.
that store is a private store, and it is a very expensive store. And I hate to do that to someone that built up their company.
Bro, you're not Billy Mitchell. It's okay.
But at the same time, they knew what they were doing. If they wanted to bring their pets to the store, they need to make sure that their pet can be trusted and can deal with other people and other animals. If they can't, then they had to be in a back room. Even if they're in a kennel, that another dog can walk in front of that kennel, and that dog that's in the kennel is locked up and wants to be free. You know what I'm saying? That dog, he's seeing that dog walk around the store free, all willy-nilly, picking out toys and stuff like that, and it's trapped inside a kennel. It wants to get out. And of course, in this situation, it got out. But I definitely told him.
Like that, where like a dog could like open any kind of door, or like how smart.
An escape artist? Have you ever came across an escape artist?
Yes, I had a Boston Terrier named Benji, and he figured out how to open the lift and latch kennels, and he would do it in 5 minutes flat. And so I would end up having to put him in the Roughlin kennels just because he could open all of the other ones. So I started putting him in the Roughlins because it was literally the only kennel that I could keep him in.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. And then we had another dog. Her name was Nova, and I called her Itty Bitty Pitty Committee because she was like the tiniest little pitty mix you'd ever seen. And she got out of every single kennel we put her in. We ended up like the couple times she boarded with us, we ended up putting her up in like one of the separated dog room areas that we had, because we had cordoned off areas, like movable walls basically, that we could move to create separated play areas for like smaller dogs or bigger dogs, or say dogs in season, because we also took intact dogs and we didn't allow intact dogs to intermingle.
Gotcha. So it was like modular cubicles for dogs.
Exactly.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
My Siberian Husky, okay, so I was a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. My parents were all into it. My dad was the scoutmaster. We did it at like a Methodist church, and we had a shit ton of people. We used to go camping every week. And my Siberian Husky, I shit you not, he learned how to open the tent by grabbing the zipper with his mouth and lifting his head up and unzipping the goddamn tent. It was wild.
They'll find a way. They're
smart.
Yeah,
these working dogs are smart. I tell you what.
They'll find a way.
You know why they're so smart?
Why?
They needed to be able to solve problems on the fly and by themselves.
Ooh. So, it sounds like a job interview for dogs. Put it on his resume.
Exactly.
Put that shit. I can escape a tent. You throw me in any kennel, I bet you I can get out of it.
That's the kind of guy I need on the GTA
More like these three border collies managed to keep a lost flock of sheep safe, unsupervised, with no help from their handler for a week while the herd was missing.
Okay, dogs are fucking cool.
You know,
right?
I don't doubt that. I actually seen videos of similar situations, and that's another reason as to why I would love. I mean, I don't have a farm. I don't have a. I have a
I have an apartment. I don't even have a backyard. That's why I don't have a dog.
I at least have a backyard and a front yard and a good neighborhood, but I do plan on
Is that why you never
upgrading
visit
sometime
me?
soon and buying a house, and with that house I would love land, and at one point I would love to have one of these herd dogs, or these cattle dogs, because they're just, no matter what the task is, I can always train it and it can be perfectly fine with managing it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's
I,
just socialization, and you make sure you keep up with it. That's what it amounts to. Dogs are creatures of habits. You teach them the habit, it's already there.
yep.
So,
Go ahead,
I
Brandon.
want to branch off to the next segment really quick. Yes, I have a screwdriver and I am whittling it in front of my camera for no reason. Yeah, the next segment I want to do is I want to divert our attention to my stream that I had up on Discord.
Okay, let me bring that up.
So you
All right, I got it open.
See the starting soon.
They do on the stream. Me and her, we see the Google.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
hide the starting soon animation. So so now that Google is available, let me see if I can just shift tab. So this part, what I want to do is, since we have an expert here with us today, can you tell me what is wrong with these dogs? Okay, I'm going to show you a few pictures of these dogs, and you tell me what is wrong with them. Okay, I think I can just shift tab. I think that might work.
This could be interesting.
Why did that not work? Okay, I'm just gonna.
Hey, look, that's not a dog though. That's Google.
I know what's wrong with this one. It's an AI. AI.
All right, what is wrong with this dog?
The fact that his zoomies would flatten a town.
Oh.
The dog is massive.
Yeah.
It would take millions of dollars to feed that dog for a year. That dog could be butchered and feed a country.
Do you think that would be like better for our tax dollars than Israel?
What?
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, my sir.
Right? Like, holy shit!
Listen, the life of Clifford the Big Red Dog, or hey Robert, Ayo Big Dog is in the chat. He called me Big Dog. This is part of the theme. Thank you, Robert. You kept it clean. So we have Clifford the Big Red Dog here, not Clifford the Big Red War Crime. All right, so we established what's wrong with Clifford. Good job. Next dog.
He's a walking red flag. He's a walking red flag.
What is wrong with this dog?
Well, he's on fire.
First of all, this one's been
he's on
dead.
Fire.
This one's been dead since the fucking bubonic plague. But I mean, let's just look at
undead dogs.
Look at its fucking posture while it's running. That just
okay. So if that dog bites another dog, will it make more zombie dogs?
Shit, I don't know. Like, I used to be very experienced with the Call of Duty 1.15, lore of Nazi.
I'd love to see that thing chasing rabbits.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Let's get that thing on a lure course.
I actually ended up playing a Black Ops 3 custom zombies map by Ice Grenade. I think it was Ice Grenade. This only war crime is the first time. Shut the fuck up.
My.
Chat's going off. Okay, so we actually had a Madagascar custom zombies map, and all the dog rounds were replaced with fucking Marty the zebra, and it was so funny. It was so stupid. I had to play that again. I did it on a stream. I want to do an episode for that. All right, next dog.
Oh my god, that sounds great.
What is wrong with this dog?
So I think I can handle. Go ahead.
He'd actually be deaf in real life.
Deaf?
Would it?
Maybe.
Wait, why deaf?
Maybe.
No.
Depends on if it's a double merle and the merle length.
Is that a breed?
Bro, that's crypto.
No, that's a coat pack.
Oh.
Plus he flies and he's bulletproof. What's a bulletproof dog?
He's actually a bulletproof dog.
What if it turns rabbit like
the bat dog is.
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah.
Bat dog's like, he's like, I'm done with your shit.
They're taking a picture.
He's like, I got it.
He's like,
so
I didn't even want to do this.
First thing that's wrong with this one is it has crypto has white privilege. All right, simple as that. White privilege. It's white.
Okay.
White privilege. Automatically the best dog ever. It's Superman's dog.
He's in a position of power.
Exactly.
He's in a position of power.
He's a tyrant. He's a tyrant.
White people are gonna be the majority in a few years. Calm down, guys. It's okay.
The majority?
No, I'm sorry. The minority. Statistically, white people are actually going to become the minority. Which, congratulations for that.
Yes. Goodbye, white people. Here, this one's for you guys. That one's for you guys.
Get him out of here. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, white people. I not for your ancestors. Go fuck themselves. But
I'm not.
I'm not. Okay, so that's all the dods that I had. I don't think I have any other dods. I was gonna do like a Brian Griffin maybe, but I just couldn't because I didn't have the time. At the time, I was shoveling pizza down after taking a 2-minute shower, so that was definitely different.
A 2-minute shower, boy! You did not clean yourself good
that's
enough.
That's not true. I'm just like Sonic.
You did not. You did not get the hot spots.
No, I promise
you did not
like,
get the hot spots.
I got you. Like
no.
I guarantee you.
I'm not going over to your house right now.
Did you clean your ass today?
Yes, I did, Louis. Stop it. Stop it, Dad. God. What the fuck, bro? He's dead. Fucking Jesus Christ. All right. Back on track, because I want to move on. I'm keeping the dog theme here, but do you play D&D?
Yes, a little bit.
A little
bit we play. Haven't played as much as we like, but we do play.
And how has that been going?
It's been going. We have 2 campaigns going on right now. We have like a pirate one going on, and then an evil Santa Claus one.
Evil Santa Claus?
Yes, evil Santa Claus.
What's evil Santa Claus about? Like, why is he evil?
Okay. So far in the game, there's like it's a wizard who's been murdered, but he used forbidden magic to bring toys back to life, and so there's like a Barbie doll, but she's like a fighting warrior, like an Amazonian like action figure. Okay, and then there's like a Barbie doll, but she's like a princess. And then there's a teddy bear, but the teddy bear's been slowly like he's an actual teddy bear, and if you squeeze him, it says "I love you." Most of them, my character's a rat character, which was a template that another player had created that I used to build the character for.
That's cool.
But I have a little like this size rat, like a gnome-sized rat creature. That's awesome. That's my character. And then there's all these animate toys, and they're all trying to help each other try and figure out who killed the wizard, but it's Santa because he doesn't like competition.
Wow. You hear that?
Santa's like, nah, I'm gonna kill them all.
Santa, and you're not
I'm gonna kill them all. He's like, I don't gotta be on the nice list. I make the list.
Right.
I'm starting to get.
He's like, I make the list. I check it twice.
Yeah.
Did you use like a Warforged like template for those toys or something? Like, what did you do for that?
I'd have to ask my husband about that because he's the one that found them. I found the rat template by Google, and then wasn't Etsy, not Etsy, the other one, you Pinterest.
Pinterest. Okay, that's why. Like, I was full blown drifting in the river Styx in my brain right there. I was fucked. I feel like
I was too there for a second. I was like,
yeah,
I'm like, I know you pin it.
Hardcore sometimes.
You want to get down?
I'm fucking brain dead. I'm a walking lobotomy. I actually,
good girl.
I took that name for a bit. I think I have a separate YouTube channel called Lobotomy. I'm not sure. Oh no, that was my Discord name for a while. Okay, it's all good. So that's badass. That's really cool. I did want to bring up something because in the past, I do remember you inviting me to play a One Piece themed D&D campaign.
Good point.
We haven't even started it yet.
That's fine. Because like I mean, I'm sure Angel would love to play too. That would be really cool.
We
She's actually on the brain for more.
we have an entire book written for the game. We have an entire playbook written for the game, which has the details of everything, where the islands are, has a map. It has
I have race questions. I need to know if I can play like a mink or a
it's all on PDF. I'll have to next time he walks his booty in here, because he's done out there dealing with the kids and stuff. Next time he walks his booty in here, I'm gonna ask him about it, because I think it's just on PDF right now.
Fuck yeah, that's so
But
cool.
it's like an entire book. Like
I know
I want to say it's like something like
giants
70
and
pages, and it's just
70
game
pages.
information.
Holy shit, that's like how much effort I put
It's
into
a
the Ultimate
big
Alliance.
book.
Oh my god,
Yeah, it's a big book.
that's
Oh my
awesome.
good boy.
Like you,
I
yeah,
have so many
a
race
whole
questions, though.
game guide for it.
I don't think I have so many like class questions. Obviously, there's gonna be like I don't know, like a swordsman class. That would make sense. Like I feel like there's just like classes for that, like maybe a doctorine class, like for like a chopper thing, or like
I know they have a.
archaeologist.
I know he has a few specific One Piece classes. But I honestly couldn't remember what they are right now.
See,
I
was
haven't messed
doing
with it in a
that.
minute.
I have a document as well where I was doing that same thing, but I don't know how many pages I got to. I was just kind of typing. I was doing that same thing, but it was like a shonen thing where it was more than just One Piece. It was like you could play like Namekian and
All the
Saiyan
animes, all the
and
manga.
yeah, all like the main shonen manga and fucking Bleach. Like you could be a Soul Reaper or like a ninja from Naruto. It's like okay, I just outed myself as a weeb edgelord, so I'll take the hate for that real quick. Yep, go ahead and lay it on me. I watch anime. So what? Bitch. I got
Lame.
I got my One Piece coffee mug right here. Well, actually, my coffee. Fuck, what's this thing called? A toaster. Yeah, that's what it's called. A toaster. Toast.
I have stuff. We have stuff all over the walls, all over the house. But I'd have to like walk around my house and stuff. But I'm not doing all that.
That's
I'm
fair.
not getting up right now.
Nope.
I have you ever heard of a blink dog from D&D?
A what?
A blink dog, like blink with your eyes.
Like a blink dog?
Yeah.
Like
Here, let me pull it up on stream.
the name is familiar, and the name is familiar, and I remember it from Magic the Gathering. Yeah, that's from Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, they have it in D&D as well. It's actually in the monster manual, I think.
Yeah, okay, that's from the D&D set.
Yeah, it can teleport.
Okay.
So I was actually gonna bring this up because if Blue skidooed and we can too, does that mean Blue from Blue's Clues is a blink dog?
I don't know. Can I get on the toilet like the Scoobies?
I don't know. I know he just like jumps into a painting, where like I could just pull out like my Magic Studios painting and just be like,
and he can jump right.
Does that make him a wizard?
I don't.
Or does he come from the Harry Potter world because he can walk through paintings?
Oh, or like Dark Souls, like in Orlando, fucking that boss battle sucked. Blink Dog understands Sylvan but can't speak it. That's the only language it understands? That's nuts. How dare they? Can you hearing and smell? Dog has advantage on wisdom perception checks.
Good boy.
He looks like he needs a nail clipping. Look at his nails. They're atrocious.
Shit.
Somewhere an eagle is starving because its talons are missing.
Look, his dog weenus can like stab you.
Ooh, yeah, sharp.
My god, that crop job is atrocious. Look at that crop job.
I know, it's just they do their best. It's just,
they do that's their best.
I look at all I make sure that none of these comments are like terrible. Nugget is going to be so much fun to watch run away. Or do they just call it Nugget? All hail Nugget.
It's Nugget.
So back to dogs. What are like some food brands that you should avoid?
Okay, so like depending on who you ask, you're gonna get a lot of different answers, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of different answers popping off in that chat when I say this. Feed the dog in front of you. When it comes down to what your dog should and shouldn't eat. Sometimes dogs are really picky. Sometimes it's really hard to get your dog to eat regularly, to eat a certain kibble on a regular basis. So a lot of people end up struggling to even just keep basic weight on their body. So my philosophy is feed the best that you can afford that your dog will actually eat.
That's a good philosophy.
I've always really, really, really liked raw feeding, but it can be very tricky. It shouldn't be attempted unless you have the guidance of a veterinary nutritionist to make sure that it's balanced. That's the biggest issue with that a lot of vets have with raw diets, is that they're not balanced. If they're balanced, they get proper organ, they get proper bone, they get all that stuff. It's a great way to feed your dog. It really is. It's also extremely expensive.
Wait, like raw food? Like
There
raw
are some
diet?
butchers where you can get, yeah, like a raw diet.
That's a
There
that
are
would, like,
some
kill a
butchers that
human,
do
wouldn't
have a pre-made that they sell.
Well,
Huh?
have you ever heard of the Liver King?
No, I
Yeah.
can't say as I have.
You've never heard of the Liver King? All right, so this dude is I'm sure this is obviously different for so this dude's nuts. So he basically is like he came out as a fraud. He does a bunch of steroids, obviously. Um, but I always thought, eating raw meat was just bad for you. What makes it different for dogs? How is like eating raw meat not bad for dogs?
Dogs have an extremely strong acid in their stomachs. They have an ability to break down a level of bacteria that we humans do not. This came from where they evolved from, when they evolved from wolves, who would eat raw meat on a regular basis. They're carnivores. They need to have those strong acids in order to break down bacteria and things that would make them sick.
That was my last question.
Basically, their stomach acids allowed them to eat. What?
I'm sorry. I'll
Okay.
I'll ask the question after, but the whole wolves thing. So that was like part of my last question for you. So we're on a roll right now. So continue where you were at. I'm so sorry. That just got me hyped.
So for where dogs evolved from, which is from wolves, they would go through, and they were both, hunters and opportunistic scavengers. So not only would they kill their own food, but they would also try and steal or scavenge other predators' meals. Meaning that they needed to be able to have strong stomachs that could break everything down, including the things that we as humans can't digest. Because when us humans started really sitting down and eating meat, as far as my understanding, because my knowledge of human evolution isn't as strong, but from my understanding, we didn't really eat meat religiously until we got fire and started cooking it.
Right. Okay. That's so eye opening. That was a perfect explanation. Different acid in your stomach. The dog is a xenomorph. That was just awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you decided to come here today and be on the show. I really appreciate that you're here.
Of course.
So, I guess Louis, do you
Yes.
have other questions?
We kind of bounced around.
We always end up doing that. I don't think our ADHD was as bad this episode as it's been in prior
No,
episodes.
it was pretty good. Oh Jesus.
Okay, you think on that.
Go ahead.
How are dogs different than wolves?
Okay, so dogs and wolves are different by a lot of reasons. Dogs developed, I'll start off from the beginning, I guess. Dogs developed because they had a stronger ability to fight the instinct to run. So, like, they attributed humans to food, whereas other wolves attributed us to a threat. And as time went on, that continued to develop. And in turn, wolves never evolved, for example, the ability to communicate with us through look. A dog can look at us and understand what we're feeling by seeing our face. We can point at something, and our dogs will instinctively follow our fingers.
Right.
We tell our dogs to focus, they'll meet our eyes. You try and do that stuff with a wolf, they don't grasp it like a dog does. Yes, you can train a wolf. I'm not saying you can't train a wolf, but there are certain things that wolves either don't grasp or they have a harder time grasping because they were never domesticated and they didn't evolve beside us like dogs did. Dogs were literally evolved and developed beside us and then were selectively bred to be our companions. So their whole existence is for us. They exist for us.
That is wow.
As weird as that sounds.
I mean, that's a very good explanation of it. And I've
Mhm.
seen like wolf sizes. Like I've seen TikToks and Instagram reels.
Oh yeah, dude,
of
they're
people
huge.
with wolves, and they're like fucking like touching its snout. I'm gonna call it a snout. It's a nose, right? Well, like, dude, that's nuts. That's like a whole World of Warcraft mount. Honestly, like that's a full blown. You could ride that into battle, a fucking war, like just.
That's a
Saddle
huge
up
bit.
with 2 fucking axes and maybe a bow on your back and just go ham like I almost said Michael Vick again. That's my bad.
Oh my
Fucking what's his
God.
face? Mel Gibson. It's the other person with the M name. Mel Gibson from Highlander.
Jesus, I remember what my question was. So my boyfriend Eddie, he purchased these buttons, like the speak buttons and stuff like that. That dogs can press and stuff like. How would you have you seen these? Before I move on.
I have.
Also, we do
There's
have
a
to go to
lot
chat
of
now.
discussion about these. A lot of it stemmed from that TikTok account. What about Bunny? I think it is what it's called. And there's a huge divide in the world because there's not a lot of data on it yet. A lot of people believe that the dogs have no inclination of what the buttons mean. They just know if they hit a button, their owners get a reaction. There's other people that do genuinely believe that the dogs understand the meaning of the words and are pressing those specific buttons because that's the thing they want. Honestly, the jury's still out on that. I'm a very data driven person. I believe that the dogs probably believe that hitting these buttons gets them an attention or a reward of some sort. I don't necessarily believe they understand which button gives them what reward, but that they know that they hit buttons and suddenly they get something.
Gotcha.
Holy shit.
That's where my mind goes.
I'm not gonna lie. Since he's bought these buttons, they've been sitting underneath a bookshelf, the entire time. So
Oh wow.
Jack and his dog Jade, they do not care for using the buttons.
Dude, buttons
I
are
think-
the
I
closest
think-
thing to bureaucracy a dog is gonna get, and nobody likes bureaucracy. Okay, we are done with the paperwork, and we are done with the waiting lines. I'm going to bring healthcare back and fix the world for the people. Thank you. Vote for me for president in 2032.
Spot.
Yeah, spot on. So we talked about wolves. We talked about the dog buttons. Do you have a favorite dog story, like a Call of the Wild, or like a Marley and Me? And oh God, hang on, I just thought about Marley and Me. Oh God, I'm not gonna cry. It's just so bad. It's a bad movie.
Never watched it.
I can't watch those movies. I can't watch it when the dog dies.
Oh,
But
Same.
okay, let me think.
Same. And the thing is that I knew before the movie, like before watching it, I knew that the dog died. So I was like, no, I'm not going to even put myself through that.
No, I had to scream because there's a scene where they're chasing after Marley on the beach and they're full blown sprinting. I mean, they are fucking headstrong sprinting on the beach after this dog. But instead of actually having the audio of them screaming for the dog to stop, they just have this audio overlaid on top of it where they're sitting down doing a voice recording and they're just talking. He's just going, Marley, Marley, Marley.
What?
It is so cringe. It is like the worst scene in the entire movie. Like I'm super
That
on
sounds-
Peter Griffin's side. Like Peter Griffin, who has, by the way, just joined Fortnite. Aw, my nightmare dog died. Here, let me put these very important blueprints on the ground where they're gonna get stomped on by my dog.
Oh, my Atlanta.
No, you ever seen that episode from Family Guy, bro?
I have not.
They were
No.
like making fun of Marley and Me. Yeah, all I remember is that the guy that plays what's his name from Grey's Anatomy is in that movie and he's hot. Yeah, Mart Sloan, the guy that plays Mart Sloan.
No, it's not Owen Wilson. Why does my mind always want to say Owen Wilson?
You know what's so funny was like, wow. I was gonna say Owen Wilson,
Wow.
and I was like, wait, I don't think he would think Owen Wilson is good looking.
No, bro, he's got a giant nose and he's kind of an angry douche like Seth Rogen.
Well,
But-
like his nose wasn't so bad
is-
back in like Zoolander. His nose wasn't so bad, but like now,
Ben
like have
Stiller?
have you seen him
sucked at
in
Ben Stiller.
fucking um that just took me by
Y'all
surprise.
talking actors, and I don't really watch movies that much.
Sorry, we just got derailed, but we need to re-ask you that question about your favorite Dodd story. But real quick, you gotta do it.
Yes.
Okay.
The Magnum.
Dog story.
Dodd story.
All right. So this one was back in 2000 and it would have been around 2005, I want to say. And I was and this was in Port Charlotte. I was walking with my childhood dog at the time. Her name was Scrappy. She was a dachshund and lab mix. And I was walking with this dog to the park over there off of Conway. And while I was walking this dog, and mind you, just to give you some context, this dog was the single most chill dog you ever met. This dog never barked at anybody. She didn't jump. She just picked a couch cushion, and that's where she vibed, unless she wanted to, eat or go to the bathroom. Like, she just kind of vibed. But I was taking her to the park, and on the way to the park, this dog did something I'd never even thought this dog capable of. This dude pulls up in like one of those not like older 90s Dodge Caravans, okay, and it's white. It's got that weird spray paint faded thing, you know how they look after so long.
Yes.
And he starts asking directions about, oh, I need to get to so and so, I need to get to so and so, and I'm like, it's that way. And he goes to get out of his van. And he's like, why don't you come with me and you can point the way? And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that, and I'm like backing away from him. And this dog who'd never done anything like that suddenly became unglued and terrifying. Like, I'm talking the full
dog was scary,
big snarl and
mean.
she was scary. She was scary. And because of the lab part of her, she had these big giant teeth for the size of the dog, so it made her teeth look even bigger than they were because of her weird build. And she was a weird looking dog, I'm not gonna lie, she was a weird looking dog. But no, she was ready. She was gonna mess this man up if he came out that van any closer. And I honestly credit her for keeping me from being kidnapped that day, because I am a tiny person.
Wow. Respect on that dog, dude. Respect.
I had an instance where this was a couple of years back. I was walking my dog Jack, and he's a medium-large dog, but more on the larger side. Oh, he's running over here. Come over here. Come on. Come over here. Come over here.
Yeah.
Oh God. He just tore off my headset. But he's a medium large dog, so he's a pretty big dog. And I was walking him, and when I walk him, I have a harness on him, because when I first got him, when I would collar him to the leash, he would just always want to pull. So I got the harness, and it actually helped him with walking on a leash. But anyways, there was this other kid, maybe my age, maybe a little younger, but very close to my age, and he was walking a full-size husky. And this husky and Jack, they got probably within 5 feet from each other, and they just my dog Jack, he stood right at my leg, right beside me. And the kid was like, hey, do you want them to meet? And I was like, just stand a little farther back. I don't know how they would react at first. And sure enough, his dog lunged at my dog in an aggressive way. And my dog, unfazed, just looked at me and was like, he looked back at the dog, barked a couple times, and then when he barked, the husky like was like getting very aggressive at this point and was like barking constantly and snarling and pulling the kid closer, so like that 5 foot gap was now 3 feet. And at that point my dog, like, he went forward and started lunging forward, and now this gap is now they're face to face, and like immediately I was like, back up, and I grabbed Jack, and like as you can see, like he was fighting me just a second ago, but I grabbed him and I picked him up, and I just like I scooped his legs up upside down. So if this dog was to attack, it's gonna attack me first. I'm not gonna let him attack my dog. Like, I'd rather take a dog bite than letting my dog get the bite. So like I'm now carrying this
I entered
fucking.
combat with the dog.
I picked his ass up, and I was about to just like Private Ryan fucking run away, with him, and yeah, sure enough, the kid, dragged his dog away, and we went our separate ways and never saw each other the whole couple years that I lived in that neighborhood. But after that moment, I was like, yeah, no other dog is gonna get very fucking close like that, unless it was in a safe environment and there was still some control on both ends. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that was kind of scary. And plus, like I'm just so, especially with him from the shelter. You know what I'm saying? You hear that one, it's a shelter dog. Two, it's a pit bull. People
They're not gonna
tend to, they tend to just like go in the wrong direction, and that's another reason as to why I picked him up, and I was like, I'm not gonna let him get bit, nor am I gonna let him bite this dog. Because if they're going, you can't really, and I don't know, maybe you can kind of elaborate, but like, I was always told, do not get in the middle of a dog fight. Do not try to break them up. Like trying to get in between the two of them.
The best thing to do is try to just separate them. Is try to separate them. You don't want to get in between them, but you do need to separate them. So like a stick or something, but you have to be able to separate them. There's also different things. Air horns work. Bear spray. Some people use bear spray.
Doesn't that like hurt?
Some people use what's called, it'll hurt the dog that's coming after you. Some people use what's called dasers, which just let out a horrible noise to the dog.
Ooh, like a dazer.
Like humans can't hear it, but they can, and they don't like it.
The orb of confusion. Where's that from?
It's from SpongeBob and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Oh my god! Yeah, you're right.
I actually have been in basically combat with a dog. I was walking my son in Georgia, and this dog came out of nowhere. And I mean, my son was in a fucking stroller, and this dog actually came out of nowhere and was full blown like trying to eat my child. I literally had to like put my shoe in this dog's mouth and just like analog control, like I basically just kept doing like this and just kept like holding the dog away with my foot, and it was super aggressive. I mean, it was nuts. There was actually an incident where I got into a similar situation, but the creature was less aggressive and did not really attack, but it was increasingly more dangerous than a dog. It was a Florida panther.
What was it, a bear? Oh, panther!
Nope, yeah, I had a Florida panther.
Of course it's a panther.
In my face, bro. Like, I mean, I was walking down the trail that I always used to walk when I was a teenager. It was behind the Morgan Center, by the Jockey Club, and from, like, the Heron Creek Middle School area, and I was walking that trail at night going home, and I was like, damn, man, like, how a tree fell on the trail, like it was like a trunk. It was that big to me, like it was fat, and I realized trees don't stand up, and it's got these big green fucking eyes staring at me because I had my flashlight on, and it just got really close and growled, and I just Michael Jackson moonwalked backwards and went back to the Morgan Center, and I was like, I called my dad and I said, hey Dad, I hate cats
They
now.
say that's the best thing to do.
I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not happy right now. So that was a weird
Yep.
encounter, guys. No, I think we're about there, right? I think we
It's all
got
right,
through.
Lucy's come to visit. This is my ratting dog right here.
Oh, I was about to say, I see a little pup there.
I'm
Hi,
Tootsie.
Lucy.
Yeah, this is Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. I'm guessing
Um,
because you mentioned ratting a lot, and I have to ask before we end tonight, what is ratting?
Mm. Well, there's an actual like trial where they basically have these rats in these tubes, and the dogs are graded on how they hunt them and their drive, and there's a set of points for it and everything like that.
Bro, that's
For
like
me, Lucy is a working ratting.
that's awesome.
For her, she's a working ratting dog. She's not chasing them in tubes. She's chasing them in real life with the intention of removing them from the census. That is what she does. That is her job. She's very good at it,
I do
and she
that
loves
too
to
at
do
my
it.
job. I'm a maintenance man. I had to hunt down rats and garden snakes, and actually one time I got a flying squirrel, and it was really adorable. It was really cute, but I was panicking when I was chasing it, as I do for every animal. So I ended up fucking giving it a nosebleed, but I think it's alive. Well, somebody took it to like a shelter thing. Oh yeah, God,
Well,
ratting.
that's a plus.
before
This
we,
one, she looks like.
go ahead. Go ahead.
She just looks like she's a dachshund that should be about 40 pounds.
Ooh,
Oh my.
She's thick.
dear thought out.
Before we start wrapping things up, um, is there like for your job, is there like any type of like website that they can try to see what you do, how to reach you? Is there any social medias? Like where can people find you to contact you, or if they have any
I
questions or
don't.
anything like that?
I have a TikTok that people can add me on and ask me questions. Other than that, I don't really have like a business website, only because I've only recently separated from the sporting facility I'm at, and I've stepped away from doing it
Gotcha.
for a little bit because I have to concentrate on my family and stuff like that.
As you
But
should, yeah.
I'm always available to answer questions.
That's
You
awesome.
And
can
what
find me on
what
TikTok, D
what's your
Bacon
TikTok?
Bits,
The bacon bits.
at
I'll leave
Bacon
the
Bits.
link in the
Yeah.
description of the the shorts and stuff that I make. I'll at you as well. So that
Perfect.
was a very eye opening episode. I didn't know that was gonna be so in depth. Like, thank you so much for coming on this week. I
Yes, of
really do
course. Yes.
appreciate it. Do you have any final words?
Other than that, just shop for the dog that fits what you need, whether you get it from a reputable breeder or a reputable rescue. Make sure that the dog you get fits your family. That's the
And there
most
you
important
have
thing,
it.
not what it looks like.
And there
That
you have
is
it, folks.
very important. Very
Remember,
important.
always take care of your animals and never be a bad person and abuse them. Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Talk Bots. That was fun.